Hey everyone, Nadine here from Scrap and Art Magazine. Today I have a tutorial to show you on how to make a simple mixed media layout using Prima marketing products. The first thing I did was added some heavy gesso with a spatula onto some white cardstock. Just spreading it around so it gets most of the paper covered. And then using a heat gun, I dried it. For when I use a picture, I like to do a little box behind it so I know where the picture is going to be. So doing things like the stamping and all the extra stuff, I know it'll be sort of on the outside of the picture. Now with the Prima stencil and the texture paste copper crackle, I added some flowers in around the edges of the picture. The texture paste is a lot of fun. When it dries, it gives you a really cool crackle effect, and it's best to let it dry naturally instead of using a heat gun like I did with the heavy gesso. With the micro beads copper, I just went and sprinkled a few of those on there while the paste was still wet. It's a good way to get it to stick to your page and add some texture. On the raised edges of the heavy gesso that dried, I just took the spatula and took some more of that paste and let it catch on those raised up areas. Now using some mica powder and rust with a baby wipe and just blending it into the paper to give it some color definition. It also gives a really nice sheen to the paper. I use baby wipes all the time when I'm doing mixed media pages. You can also use a damp paper towel if you like. Distressing the edges of some of the papers from the Bella Rouge collection to layer up behind my picture. Adhering my picture to the paper layers now. Using some of the embellishments from Prima. Okay, everything looks good there. Now using some of the mica powder in teal and then spraying some water into that. I like doing that because it's perfect to take a paintbrush and then flick some color onto your page. Decided to go back in and add another flower down there in the bottom corner. With more micro beads. There was drying time in between all these, but to speed things up, I didn't let you guys see that. Now taking some of the Prima flowers, in the heavy gesso, I'm just lightly brushing just the edges of the flowers. I dip into those extra micro beads that were caught in the tray. Can't really see it very well, but you will in the close-up pictures at the end. I'm going back in, gluing the pictures down. These metal trinkets are cute. I found that using the Beacon's 3-in-1 adhesive worked best at gluing down those metal trinkets and the wood embellishments. Now doing the same thing that I did earlier with the rust mica powder, I'm now doing it with the teal mica powder. It's adding some color to the background. I really love the shimmer that the mica powder adds to the page, adding some more rust there. Now with some of the modeling paste, with a spatula I'm just going in and randomly just spreading it around on the page. Not too heavy, but just giving it a little bit more texture to the page. And now I'm going to use the micro beads again to get to stick to those areas with the modeling paste. And some of the Prima Say It with crystals. Decided to add a little bit of extra up there in the top corner. Using a pre-made chipboard title, I painted a few layers of the heavy gesso on it, adhering the title to the page, and then I'm going to add some more gesso to it once I have it adhered down, just to get it around the edges some more, so it kind of blends in with the page more, I guess is what. And then going along the edges of the papers, adding more micro beads. Going through and adding a little bit more heavy gesso to the top of the flowers and paper edges. Every layer you do just adds a little bit more texture, definition to your page. With my fingernails, I was bending up some of the edges, giving it a little bit more of a distressed, ripping it a little. Adding more gesso to the edges. There's really no rhyme or reason of how you add it, just have fun. Using more texture paste, going over the top of the title, adding a little bit more to the page. Added some to the flowers and the edges of the paper. In general, I really don't plan my pages out in advance. I just keep adding until I have the desired look that I'm looking for. Adding the last few touches to my page, and then I'm done. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to visit www.scrapandart.com.